And we're live. We're live. All right. Hello, everybody. As always, thank you very much for watching. It is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Do subscribe, like, share, comment, if you would. And at the Cashapp, or you can pick up a copy of the book, which will help me in about 90 days. It takes about 3 months to get paid on the book. But anyway, the link to the book is in the description of the video. And again, if you're just joining, hello, thank you, welcome. I appreciate you being here. I'm going to be on here, looking to be on here about 20 minutes to half an hour. So want to begin with September the 18th, which thankfully nothing happened. And a lot of things played into nothing happening. And I'm just thankful that it all came together and nothing happened. And now it doesn't mean that a potential threat or anything like that has gone away. It's not like members of the far right are not extremely upset and members of the far right are not ready for action. Some of them is just they are waiting for the word. You think back to January 6th, the thing that triggered everyone heading to the Capitol building was Trump saying, let's go stop the steal. And he was going to lead them up there. Of course, he didn't lead anybody. He sent them. And that'll be subject of debate and court trials and editions of history in the future. But anyway, that threat hasn't gone away. Trump hasn't gone away. He told people to stay home is one of the excuses I got for it, not to be any more bigger event in Washington, D.C. than it was. Again, thankfully it wasn't. To me, overwhelming law enforcement was a reason that it didn't grow any more than it did just from local participation, because the law enforcement was overwhelming. The security was overwhelming, especially for the limited size group that actually showed up. And the government took it serious, as they should have. The chatter I was seeing, I took it serious. And again, I'm glad nothing happened. They're waiting on the word from Trump that, just a few minutes ago before coming on here, somebody sent me a link to a video. Probably be playing it tomorrow. I can't play stuff when I'm set up like this. They called it we're at the, they said that they felt they were at the 2-minute warning, and that either they were going to do something to win it or the game was going to be lost forever. Interpret that as you wish. Trump has sent a letter to the governor or the head of the elections, Secretary of State, I believe, in Georgia, the head of the election, asking for the election to be decertified in Georgia. He keeps trying to, the My Pillow guy went to Alabama and said that he had evidence of voter fraud, and the Republican Party down there said, no, stop it. One of two things is going to happen. Either the going to run up, or they are actually going to attempt to do something. And a couple of things were brought to attention. The fact that, again, on September the 18th, this past Saturday, nothing happened. Overwhelming law enforcement. And I got word early on that, there's not going to be anything, nothing's going to happen down here. So, which I was incredibly grateful, and got on and did a brief live and said that's what was coming. But it also has been pointed out to me that this could possibly be a situation where the Washington, D.C. Capitol Police they put on display a massive amount of power, and for no reason. And it was pointed out, well, that could have been, this could have been an operation to where they were trying to they wanted to see what defense would be if indeed it was a legitimate attack situation, which again, thankfully it wasn't. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen in the future. I don't have any word that it's going to happen. I'm just saying this is what somebody said. The only person taken out of the rally, the Justice for J6 rally, I think that's what they called it. The only person taken out of the rally was actually an undercover police officer, and did have a weapon, and there wasn't any incident. I don't think there was anyone even arrested that day, to my knowledge. So the end result was better than I could have hoped, and much better than I anticipated. So, but at the same time, we'll see where it goes from here. I'm going to keep monitoring, and hopefully, again, as I said, one of two. I started to say anyway, and I got off track. One of two things is going to happen. Either they are going to do something, or they're going to get tired of Trump and start to understand that they've been lied to all this time. And if we would just all perpetuate a single fact that if there was voter fraud, why was it only at one place on the ballot? If somebody was going to defraud the Republican Party, wouldn't there be other suspicious Democratic wins? They can't answer that. Well, Bobby, but at the same time, it's just logic. Anybody that knows anything about elections and how they're run and how they're counted, if I was a Republican election official, I would be pissed right now because you're being discredited. And I know a lot of Republican election officials, just on the local level. I don't know how it is anymore, but on the local level, it used to be that, you could be on opposite sides, Republican, Democrat, because there really only are two sides. And in my opinion, that's the one thing we really need to change in this country. We need a viable third option other than just not voting or not caring. But that's a whole nother show. Used to be on the local level that you could be on opposite sides and still, be friends with each other. I don't know if it's that way now, because the hate and the venom and the if you don't agree with everything I say, then it's name calling time on both sides, and that's not going to get anybody anywhere. But okay, that's the first thing I wanted to talk about was September 18th. The fact Trump told people to stay home instead of rising up, which again, thankful. Justice for J6 was a flop. Outnumbered by the number of it was media. There were mass amount of media which made the crowd look bigger than it actually was. But there was a mass amount of media, independent media, and a mass of law enforcement, and 100, 200 at the most out there supporting J6. And I was thinking about it on that day as I was monitoring everything. And they interviewed this guy, and this guy says that the rioters were actually Antifa and BLM, that they weren't Trump people. And then the other guy, and it got back, and he says, we're out here to free those that are being held. Well, if the ones that actually did it were actually BLM and Antifa, and you're rallying to get BLM and Antifa out of jail, if that's who actually did it and are in jail, your rallies to get them out. So again, they're spinning way off. They're spinning way off the trail. I mean, they're off the trail when John F. Kennedy Jr. has been dead for 15 years, and they say that's just going to be Trump's vice president. A little crazy. You a UCLA fan? Actually, no. There's a long story behind this sweatshirt that I'll share sometime. Junior's campaigning for neocon anti-Trump Lynn Cheney. I saw that. George W. Bush. I've been fortunate that I've been able to meet every former president that's still alive except for Trump. And I got to meet George W. Bush one time. And out of everybody that I met, he would have been the one guy that I would have really liked to just sit down and had a beer and just talked with, not talk politics, and just talked. But anyway, yeah, he's going to do a fundraiser for Liz Cheney, and Liz Cheney is like the arch enemy of Trump, and it's going to end up splitting the Republican Party into like what started out as the Tea Party and then became the neo right wing, and the more traditional Republican Party, which is like the traditional Republican Party and the traditional Democratic Party. You can line them up and you can't tell a whole lot of difference. And that's the way the powers that be like it. They don't like the fact that people get in there when they won't do as they're told. And I can vouch for that. And that's another show too. In Night, good evening. Social Media News Network, good evening. Jay Bell, good evening. Of course, JB. No such thing as a two-party, totally controlled opposition, or maybe it's no such thing as a second party. Everything's totally controlled. Yeah, both. I just put a book out. I just finally, the book went to print and it's available. And I haven't been talking about it, but at the same time, a lot of the stuff I talked about, I've been talking about. I was writing about in 2013 as a fantasy that I was told this concept, it'll never go to print because, it's so far out there, no one would ever consider it. And now it's like, anyway, by the book, America, Land of the Greed, Home of the Grave is the name of the book. It's an important book because it's a multicultural book and written by a white guy, and the communities of color that are represented in the book aren't the bad guys. Okay, so it makes it completely unique. It's a very readable book. It's an engaging book. By the book. Thank you. Yeah, the two parties are so asymmetrical that it's not about You know, uh, there are a lot of Republicans that don't want abortion overturned because they have made so much money fighting abortion that they don't want that fight to end because it's real easy money for them to make. And it's a real hard argument for Democrats to make to evangelical Christians. Okay. So there are some things that are getting disrupted by Trump and those people. And maybe that's a good thing, but um, violence is where, to me, things have to be stopped. And again, I'm thankful nothing happened on September 18th. Back over to the comments. There needs to be some kind of you can't do the Green Party. You can't unify all the other independent parties behind the Green Party. The Libertarian Party is just, a wing of the Republican Party. They just take votes away from Republicans normally. But a lot of their ideology is something to be considered, possibly. Anyway, it has to be something completely new. It has to be something that is internet based. It has to be something that multicultural. Has to be something that will get the 18 to 25-year-olds that really have a vested interest in the future of not only the country but the world, to give them something to get behind other than the traditional two outdated corporate owned parties. That's the blueprint. That's the blueprint. How's it done? I don't know. Somebody knows out there, get a hold of me and we'll talk about it. Greetings. It's on Kindle and on Amazon. Hi, Carpe Diem. Yes, thank you for asking. The book's available on Kindle through Amazon for $4.99. And then it's available in paperback also through Amazon. It's going to be in college bookstores soon and other major bookstores soon. Right now it's available in print through Amazon. Not worldwide, but pretty close here in the country, in Canada and Mexico, in Spain, Italy, France, Great Britain, not in Germany yet, in Japan and Australia, I think, are the other countries. It's not in South America yet. But anyway, it'll gradually spread. But thank you for asking. Second thing I wanted to talk about, second topic of the night. There was a shooting yesterday morning, 6:30 in the morning. Group of kids in Louisville were at a bus stop, waiting on the bus to go to school. All of them went to, I believe it was Eastern High School, and a drive-by shooting happens 6:30 in the morning. Car drives by and shoots into this group of kids standing at the bus stop. Killed one and injured two others. Thankfully, one of them was just grazed, and it wasn't a major injury. The other one was shot, but it doesn't appear to be life-threatening. 24 hours and actually 36 hours after the incident. And I'm bringing this up in response to to emails, because that's the next thing is emails. Um, Asking me to, say something about this and draw attention to it. And the problem is, I can, I can say what I've just said, that there was a drive-by shooting, and a 16-year-old's dead, and that's somebody's son, um, probably a lot of people's friends, um, maybe a teammate, maybe a bandmate, um, maybe a boyfriend, um, a grandson. A lot of people are impacted anytime um, one person's life is taken. You know, and I I don't have an answer for it, and even if I did, um, it wouldn't be heard. Okay, and that is understandable, because there's a very wide trust gap, and very understandable. And y- the white media can't just keep saying it's black on black crime, and that's all there is to it, because socially, economically, psychologically, there's a lot more to it, in my opinion. But um, whatever's being done isn't working, and I'm not saying that out of judgment. I'm saying it out of observation. And there are a lot of smart people, and I hope somebody comes up with a solution, because again, every time somebody's life is taken, it it not only takes that and extinguishes that person's life, but it also in some situations almost mortally wounds so many other people. When somebody dies unexpectedly, it and I'm speaking from experience, it just um you you go through so much in such a short amount of time, and it's tough to come back from. So I hope it's a topic of discussion throughout all communities, and that somehow somebody can figure out what to do, because it's heartbreaking. Um, it was this morning, Summer, at 6:30. I'm sorry, I said yesterday. I know I did. I remember saying it. It was this morning. Um, I apologize for the misspeak. It happened this morning. Um, I've had some things going on, and I haven't been on for a couple of days. And um, yes, it was this morning. Thank you for being here, by the way, and I appreciate that. Um, Anybody have any comments, questions, anything you want to talk about while we're on here? Um, Summer, yeah, I know Summer's going to be talking about this. That's how involved Summer is in the community, and I hope there's a Louisville centric dialogue, because it was in Louisville, and there's been, yeah, my God, there's been so much happened, and David McAtee. Um, it just goes on and on and on. Um, but I hope that that we keep having or that communities keep having conversations about what to do. And I hope somebody figures something out. I really do. We have to all pull together. Yeah. Talk about it. That's, you know, you hear family after family after family, and it just rips your heart out. Especially when, he was a good kid. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And I don't know. It's a dark world. It's a dark world. So that's basically what I had for tonight. Just a couple of topics there. And we need to all pull together. We really do. Not everybody in the Black community feels, believes, thinks, acts, wants the same thing. It's not monolithic. Everybody in the white community doesn't believe, think, act, want. It's not monolithic. The Latino community, all communities, nobody is nobody's going to exactly think and believe the same way in everything that I believe. And one thing I do believe, though, is that, and I hope you do believe this, normally I say, give you things to think about, not tell you what to think or how to think. I'm going to ask you to seriously think about this. Let's start saying we're trying to promote acceptance, because unity gives the impression to some that conformity. It means conformity. It means believing the exact same thing I do. And in a lot of situations, sports teams have rules that everybody on the team has to follow, so that it's all unified. Even though somebody, back in my day, I couldn't have my hair this long. If I did, I couldn't play on the team. That was a rule. It was a way of showing conformity. And it was a controversial thing back then. Anyway, let's start promoting coming together through acknowledging each other's differences, coming together through acceptance instead of using the word unity. Let's start talking about making change by accepting, and by, I'm not talking about accepting being beat up. I'm not talking about accepting evil, wickedness, lawlessness. I'm talking about accepting differences that should be accepted instead of used as dividing points. And pigment of the skin is near the top of that list. And I just think it's detrimental to our nation. Okay. Yeah, he was a great kid, just trying to go to school, trying to improve, trying to do something. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm going to get off here for now, and I'm going to have either tomorrow or Saturday, going to have about a 15-20 minute episode recorded that shows some of the video stuff I've been talking about tonight. So again, thank you, Summer, thank you, Carpe, and thank you for the congrats. Parmas, wait a minute, there's no R, is there? Pamas, I'm sorry. Social Media News Network, JB, thank you all for being on here. Appreciate it as always. And I'll be back on real soon. Email me, americandufus@gmail.com, if you want to be on the show, something you want to talk about. Something I'm not talking about, you want me to? We'll be doing it. Pam is jamming. Of course. Thank you for pointing that out. I will never forget it. Pam is jamming. I love it. Until next time, it's a dark world. Do try to be a light, but don't be a doofus. I love you all. Peace.